pretty excited today. You know when you have something in your mind and you think, oh, this is going to be so gorgeous. And so today I'm going to try it. I hope I'm not jinxing it by having too many high expectations. But we're going to have a go at it. I'm going to do another one of those sets with the vase and the tile. And if I have enough paint, I'll do some coasters. And the last set I did was all manly colors, black and gold and silver and copper, and it was lovely. I liked it. It was really nice, but I wanted to try something in kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. Pink, Gertie pink. This is Hydrangea Pink by Delta Ceramco, and gold. Liquitex Basics gold. Yep, just plain gold. And white, so it's going to be very feminine. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I should let you know, this is like I should have measured it, but I think it's like 12 by 24 tile. Kind of just, you know, a tile my husband got it at the restore for $1. And I taped the back, and it was kind of a charcoal gray, and because I'm doing white, a white flag coat and white base, I thought I better coat it with I kind of primed it with just white house paint. And I also, with the vase, I've never done this before, so I don't know if it's going to work. Ooh, I painted the vase white with house paint first, so I don't know what difference that's going to make. Might wreck it. I don't know. We're going to see. So what I'm thinking is, I keep changing my mind on this, but I'm thinking kind of 3 Dutch pour kind of flowers. Bigger one in the middle, 2 smaller ones on the side. And then I think I'll do like a ring pour on the vase. And then the tiles will just be a dip. Dry paint on my hands. So here we go, guys. Here we go. My table's level. I've got my tile on some cups, and I'm hoping it's level. Okay, here we go. So I've got white, just my normal white paint. I put a little bit of that iridescent stuff in it because I would like it to sparkle a bit. And we're gonna go. Here we go. If I got everything I need, my paint, my hair dryer, I think I'm good. Okay, so I'm just gonna flood it with white. If I have enough paint, I gotta keep in mind that I gotta keep enough for the vase. And you always start off spreading with something, and then I stick my hands in it. Do a little torching, get some of those bubbles out. I just mixed this paint this morning, so it's going to have some bubbles. Hopefully not too many. It's actually okay in a Dutch pour to have a few bubbles. Just gives some texture. All right. Okay, so we're going to do. I'm gonna do them all kind of at the same time. So we've got big one in the middle, smaller one here. Oh, is this okay? Smaller one over here. And some gold. Mostly in the middle. Ooh, it's pretty thick. It's pretty thick. I might have to airbrush this out a bit to spread it out. Okay, that's that. Yeah, it's pretty see a lot of bubbles, so I'm going to try and get some right now. Alrighty, are we ready? Wish me luck. Here goes. Okay, so it's pretty thick, so I think I'm going to be doing the usual rescue on my thick depth pours with my airbrush. Ooh, I like the colors. Okay, trying to get that not to drag through my painting. Here we go. Just kind of fanning it out a little bit. So what I did with this, you need to have something to suspend the vase on. So what I ended up using is a lampshade, a lampshade off of a chandelier. Let me move that a bit so you can watch. And it was kind of rickety. It was kind of, oh, come on camera, don't let go of me now. There we go. Hang on, I'm gonna try and bend this without making it fall. There we go. It was kind of sliding around, so I got one of those shop towels and dampened it, and hopefully now it won't tilt, won't slip away on me. So I don't need that anymore. Get it out of the way because the paint's about to start flying. So now I'm going to make a cup of, try not to drip on my tile, a cup of the other colors for a ring pour. Hopefully I have enough paint left to do. I'm going to keep enough to do some tiles, some coasters, and white, pink. I think this one's going to take a fair bit of paint because it's a bigger vase than I usually use. Don't know what the metallic's going to do, if it's going to behave and play nice with the other paints. A little bit of pink. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do a ring pour on this. I think I have enough paint. not seeing much of the gold, but we'll see what happens. And I need it to, because I put that coat of, sometimes like I'll let the, I will let there be clear glass showing through, but because I painted it, I don't have that option, so I got to make sure that the paint covers all the way, covers everything. Looks like it's working. Let's get on this side, see what's going on. So I'm just kind of helping it a bit over that ridge to make sure it keeps sliding down and covers everything, you know? Ah, I touched the side. I'm just helping it a little bit. To cover the lip. How's it look on that side? If this works, I'm going to be a very happy girl. I don't know how much it's going to drift. Now I got to find that lump. So I don't want it to slide down and scrape the paint off. Wow. So it's gonna keep drifting down. I don't see that clump anywhere, so maybe it went all the way down. Look at all that paint down there. I want to use that, but I don't want to risk moving the vase now. Okay, so I'm going to not move that. So, but I have some paint left. Okay, so I'm going to carefully move, carefully move my tile up here so I can there we go. I gotta keep an eye on that, just make sure it doesn't drift. And then I can do my coasters down here. Wow. Oh, please don't do anything weird. Just keep doing what you're doing. There's a lot of bubbles though. That might be my downfall. Okay, so now I think I better put something down there because paint down in this. So let's do some white. Oh, whoa. Okay, so I'll do some white down here. I could do ring pours or something on the tiles, but I think I'm just going to keep it simple. I'll just do some dips. Just some dips. Okay. You know what I'm going to try? Is some dips with a half twist. Okay, so I'm dipping it in and then I'm going to twist it up. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything different. It was worth a try. Oops, this one didn't quite cover. Okay, I'm going to dip it again. And do a twist. That's kind of cool. Just gives it a little bit different, a different look. I'm going to nudge the edges to cover them. I nudge so that I don't lose the pattern. I drop it in there. A lot of paint on here. Oh, it's going to be pretty. I might have to at some point do, if this set turns out nice, I think I will do another set of tiles with the same colors. And there's the tile. See that the gold is kind of a little bit swallowed up in the white, but I think I'm just going to let it do whatever it wants to do. I'm afraid to mess with it too much. I think if I airbrush it much more, the gold is just going to mix in with the pink and I'll lose it. I mean, there's little bits there that are showing through. So we'll see how it all settles. And there's the coasters. So they're making some cells. That's all right. They're pretty. And then look at this. Look at the rings. Oh, cool. I hope they stay. Okay. I'll be back in about 10 days. And we will resin them and put the felt on them. It'll be all done. And we are about 10 days later. So it's nice and dry. And it's nice. It turned out nice. I think I want some sparkles on it though. It needs a little bit of zip. I mean, it's nice. It's pretty, but it needs some sparkles. So today we're going to resin it up and add some sparkles. So to do the resining, you need gloves and you need to be in a ventilated area. Whoops. I'm in a great big room with high ceilings and good ventilation, so I don't wear a respirator. But if you're, if you don't have a good setup to do your resin, then you need a ventilator or a face mask. No, I guess they're called ventilators. Yeah. So start with, I use magic resin. And it's a 2-part resin. So to start with, and I don't measure exactly how much I'm gonna make all in all. I just kind of eyeball it. I have a pretty good idea of how much I'm gonna need for this project. A tiny bit more than that. So that's part A. Set that aside, put the lid back on so I don't get the lids mixed up, because then they'll be stuck on. So that's part A, that's the thicker one. It's kind of like honey. So I usually pour that one first. And then the thinner one, I have my other cup. And get the lid off, come on. Sticky, there we go. And this is the thinner one. I marked the cup thin because I reuse this stuff as much as I can. So now the tricky part, not the tricky part, but the thing you have to be careful with is to make sure you get exactly the same amount. So these cups have little rings on them, so I can get it close, and then I just bend down and make sure I've got, gee, I'm getting good at this, right on. So I got equal amounts. And get rid of that for now. And what you're going to do is mix this together. There's some sparkles already fell in that, but it's okay because I'm going to be adding some anyway. So what I do is I pour the thin resin in first, the thin one. into a container that does not have any ridges on the side. And that way you can mix it really well and scrape it off the sides. Get it all out. Away for another day, and then I add the thicker resin. Sometimes I raise it up high to just get it starting to mix. Again, you want to get every last little bit out. Motorcycle outside. Okay. Go, set that aside, and then what you want to do is mix the resin. Got to mix it really good for at least 3 minutes. I usually go 4. And keep scraping the sides. There's a traffic light outside, so the motorcycles are waiting there at the light, revving their engines. And soon you'll hear a cop car going by. No, you won't. It's a nice, quiet little village. So yeah, so you stir for at least 3 minutes. Stir it really good. Keep scraping the bottom. Keep scraping the sides for 4 minutes. So I usually go 4 minutes just to be on the safe side. So I'll be back in 4 minutes. Okay, all mixed up. So now I'm going to add to the resin a little bit of sparkle. These are really sparkly sparkles, can you see? Oh. So I don't want to overdo it. Just want, oh, they're so nice. Oh, I don't know if you can see them sparkling. I intended to add more, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to put a little bit. They're really sparkly sparkles. I've got them in this container. I don't know where I got them or what sparkles they are, but they're gorgeous. I'm going to try and find them again. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough sparkles. I'm glad I didn't put any more. I don't know. It's nice the way it is, but I just felt like it needed a little bit more sparkle. Okay, so all nicely mixed in. So I'm going to do the tile first, because this is the biggest thing. I think I'm going to have lots of resin. Get that done first. And I've got my right, pardon me, my right hand double glove, because I'm going to be using my hand to spread it around. I just spread it with my hand. Sometimes I use a stick, but I always start off using, whatever, things to spread the paint or the resin with, and within 10 seconds I've got my hands in it anyway. So, and I do have the back of this tile taped still. Need a little bit more, I don't need to have it really thick, but I also don't want to have it too thin so that I'm going to end up with it missing spots and that. So I'm just get a nice healthy coat on it. Go all around the outside. You can feel whether you've got these sides covered or not, just by it's kind of slippery. And if you missed a bit, you could touch it up. So I'm going all the way around. Make sure it's not pooling in the middle. It's going to self-level anyway. So another thing, you got to make sure your table is level. If your table's not level, then check your piece, you know, like if my table wasn't level, I could put some, you know, adjust the level with putting popsicle sticks or something underneath the tile. And you'll be able to tell pretty quickly if it's not level, because all the resin will be running off to one side. I might come back and put more on this if I have enough left, but I want to make sure I have enough for my tiles, and that's kind of a big vase. So for the tiles, I just put like a medallion, like a size of a silver dollar blob on it. Again, the back of the tiles are taped with painter's tape. And then just kind of butter the slice of bread with it. I do use the popsicle stick or the tongue depressor to spread it on the tiles because it's just easier that way. Size-wise, it works better. So I spread it all around, and then I just, with my finger, I go around the edges. Again, I'm going by the feel to make sure it's covered. I kind of put a little bit extra on the edge, and then I've got, here we go. Okay. See the vase? Move it a little bit closer. So I've got it upside down on another vase, a smaller vase, and I put a shop cloth. I dampened a shop cloth and put it over top of the vase on the inside so that it won't slide and won't shift. So it's nice and straight. And I'm just going to pour some resin on there. I'm just going to do that. Just smooth it over. This one's going to take a bit more because it's a bigger vase than I usually do. Looks like I have a little bit of resin left I can put on the tile. So I'm just going to smooth it over the whole vase right down to the bottom. There's a little ridge there. Make sure I get in there. Make sure you go right underneath if there's any curves in that. Make sure you don't miss any spots. Again, you can feel. It's probably enough. You don't need to put a whole lot on because it's vertical, it's just going to run off anyway. So you don't need a whole lot on there. Yeah. Okay, so I have quite a bit of resin left. Not a ton, but so I'm just going to add it to this. A little bit more on the coasters. Don't want to waste any. Finish up the rest, put it on. It's got sparkles in. I can't really put it on anything else. There we go. Got it. Now I'm just going to level that out a bit. Spread it around. sure I got my edges really good. That edge feels a little bit rougher, so just make sure. Okay. And those are all okay. That extra resin I put is going to level out. So now I'm done touching the resin. Take off my gloves. There we go. And I'm going to torch it to get rid of the bubbles. I'm going to get a popsicle stick. In case I see little bits of dust, and I can see right there. I think it's just a big sparkle. Oh, and there's a little fruit fly flying around. Oh, he's going to be sorry if he lands in my resin. Now I'm going to torch it all to get rid of the bubbles. You can't even really, well, yeah, I can see some bubbles there. You don't want to get closer than about 3 inches. You got to torch it all the way around, all over, and you get all the air bubbles out. So you'll do this, the torching, you'll go over everything once and then leave it about 10 minutes, come back and do another pass, leave it another 15 minutes or so, come back and do a final pass, just to keep getting, you know, the air bubbles out. Make sure you don't go any closer than about 3 or 4 inches to the resin or you'll scorch it, and that can be a problem. And like that. So I'm going to torch it. Okay, like that. So I'll be coming back and torching, like I said, a few more times. Ooh, it looks pretty. And then I'll leave it overnight. And sorry about all the reflections and everything. It's at night, so, well, it's around 7 o'clock at night, so it's already dark. Fall's coming. So, and then we'll be back in the morning and it'll be all done. I'll just take the tape off and I'll put the felt on the back and stuff. But we're almost done. The next morning, this is my favorite thing, when you do resin one day and then you come in the next morning to see it all cured. I love it. So here's the vase. Take that guy out. The cloth off. You can, when you're doing the resin, if you want to hang around and keep kind of, you know, get your popsicle stick and just go around and keep taking the drips off for a little while, and then they won't be, but I kind of like them. I think they're neat. Look at that, can you see? It turned out beautiful. A little bit of sparkle, not much. It's kind of, it's cloudy out, so there's no sun to bounce off those nice sparkles, but it turned out really nice. So that's ready. Actually, I'll probably just put a little, I'll put, what do you call it, Gorilla Glue, wood glue on the bottom. Put a piece of black felt on and just carefully trim it around in a circle. So that's done. And this turned out beautiful. Turned out really, really nice. Very feminine, but that's okay. The first set I did was very masculine. So the coasters turned out great. So now I just have to take the tape off the back. And when you're taking it off, just be careful on the edges. Pull it towards you. Comes off nicely, and then you don't have any drips on the back. No problem there. Now, just be careful when you're taking the tape off. Do not pull it off like this, like against, like go along the sides. See that last bit? The last thing you want to do is pull it that way, because chances are you're going to rip the resin off that edge. So kind of go either towards you and kind of keep your finger at the point where it's separating just to make sure you don't pull the resin off the sides. So I'll do all that with those. Same thing with the, so pretty, with the big tile. I'm just gonna go around, same thing. Take the tape off carefully. Just pull it off. You see, oh, you can't see what I'm doing, but same thing as, just pretend it's like the little tiles. There we go. Just carefully, just keep your finger over the edge when you're doing it. Comes off nice, and then you don't have any resin drips to deal with on your piece. I learned this the hard way. I'm trying to figure out how to get all the drips off the edges. Like that. So I won't make you sit through that. And then the last step is I'm just going to put some felt on, and then it'll be all done. Okay, the last step. So what I put on the backs is felt. I get this from Michael's. It's about 3 feet by 3 feet, 36 inches, yeah, so 3 feet by 3 feet. And it's only like $6.99. I found it's the best deal. And it's nice, thick felt. Sometimes you get felt from the dollar store and that is really thin. But this is nice, thick stuff. So that's what I use. And to glue it on, I use Gorilla wood glue. There's probably, you know, a lot of glues that would work. It just happened to be the one I picked some time ago, and I've stuck with it. And so I just put the glue in the back of the tile. Should be enough. You can always add more if you need it. And I use an old paintbrush, one that's fairly strong, you know, so I can spread the glue around. Really important to get it right to the edges. I want to go right to the very edge so that the felt doesn't pull away. So I won't make you watch all that. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so the big tile's all done, and I do the same thing to the coasters, little tiles. Just make sure it's all coated right to the edges so it doesn't come away. I hold it on the side so you don't get too much glue on the front of the coaster or the tiles. It's okay if you do, because it'll come off, but you know, save yourself some work. Okay, so that's that. Put that down. And I'm going to flip this one first. Oh, it's heavy. And I'll just check and make sure the felt underneath is nice and spread out, you know, so that there's no creases on it. Put her down. Make sure you're on the edges. There's glue on my hands, so I don't want to press on there. Palm of my hand's okay. Just press it down a bit. Probably could have got it closer to the top, not to waste, but that's fine. And then I'll do my tiles. Just flip them over. Make sure that's stretched out. There we go. Give it a little push. Make sure you leave enough room between them to get your scissors in between when you cut them. So you want to leave at least that much room. There we go. And look at that. So those are all good. Now I'm going to, oh, it's heavy. I think I'll take this off first. You need some nice sharp scissors. And you're just going to trim them up. I'll do these first to show you. They're going to wiggle a bit because, you know, the glue isn't dry yet, but you can just do this part. It doesn't hurt it to move it around a bit. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. That's that. Just a little bit of glue on the front, but that'll come right off with an alcohol wipe or probably just water. So there we go, they're separated, and then to finish them off I just go around and just trim up nice and close. But on a bit of an angle, you don't want to be cutting into the resin. So just on a bit of an angle there, snip it all off like that. There we go, and there's your beautiful coaster. Yeah, so I'll do that, and then I'll basically do the same thing with this. These big ones they're heavy, so it's a bit more of a struggle with these. So I'm going to cut the bulk of the felt off so I can lift the big tile and trim it. Go. Now for the, so I'm going to trim that. For the vase, what I do is I put the glue, what I found is the easiest way to do it is put the glue right on the bottom of the vase instead of, you know, trying to put it on the felt. So I just put it carefully. You don't want to go around the edge, but just to the edge. All the way around. There we go. And then I try to find pieces of felt that are too small for coasters, you know, but they'd be big enough for this, and this will fit the bill. Just place it on top, flip it around, and just set it down. Just leave it for a few minutes, and then same thing, you're just going to trim it. So this, ooh, it's heavy, it's heavy. But the same thing, we're just going to kind of go on a slight angle. These ones are a little bit trickier, well, because they're heavy, I guess. And just carefully trim the felt off. I might have to go back and touch it up a bit. You know, the felt, you know, if you have any little pieces sticking out. So there you go. So I'll go around and do all that, and then we'll put it all together and see what it looks like. I just want to show you this last little bit. When you're trimming this, I just kind of hold the scissors on a bit of an angle so you don't have the felt sticking out. And just keep your scissors up against it, and you'll get a fairly nice circle. You might have to, yeah, that looks pretty good. You might have to, you know, trim if you see a little piece sticking out. Yeah, like that. You see that's sticking out a bit. So I'm just gonna trim it off a little more. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's on the bottom, nobody sees it. There you go. There we are. So I'll go take a finishing picture. And there it is. It's not very sunny out, so you can't see the sparkles. It's nice and shiny. So that's the lady one, that's the girly one. Here's the manly one. So you can use any colors that you like. That one was all like black and copper and silver, gold. So there you go. One for the boys, one for the girls.